What is up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Camera Junkie livestream. My name's Luis, also known as Mr. Camera Junkie, and I am glitching bad. So, Paul, it's still happening. Ugh, especially now that we're live. Yeah, I can see the delay here. This is bad. All right, let's see if we can fix this real quick. Wow, I'm like frozen there. And is it eCam or is it my app? It could be too many things running. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm gonna try to stop it. And resend it. These are horrible shots that I'm getting froze on. Okay, this is that was horrible. All right, so we're on the red MX. Oh, guys, this is live happens. I just updated to Tahoe and she's acting just like a Tahoe. Goodness. I'm over here, like, I know it's here, but I'm over here looking at the comments. Let's do this up. Okay. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of the Camera Junkie livestream. My name's Luis, also known as Mr. Camera Junkie, where I remind you, as always, to upgrade your skills before your gear. If it's your first time here, welcome. It usually is not this bad, but please be sure to introduce yourself into the chat so you can get acquainted with the rest of the Camera Junkie crew and get that nice Camera Junkie crew welcome. They're always saying what's up to each other in the chat, and that's how we always start off the live stream, where the first thing we do is go ahead to see who are the first people in the crew hanging out in the chat. DJ Camera Junkie. Let's see. Okay, we could do Humboldt. We could rock with that. Oh, my ISO recording just stopped. And hold on. I'm gonna go check because like I should have hundreds of gigs available. I'm just making sure. Yeah. I have 200 gigs available for the recording, yet the ISO stopped already. So yo, and I wish I could undo what I just did last night. Craziness. I was like, you know what? There's enough updates. I was like, it's about time, right? It's about time. Like, we can just go ahead and update it. She's a Tahoe right now. So I gotta see, because I've restarted the computer. I've done everything. And let me check my memory consumption. Yeah, I'm not even pressed for memory. Wow. Okay, so now just another rabbit hole to go ahead and fall down under and start looking for to see exactly what we're gonna be doing. But that's why it's good to have a backup. And it's a really nice backup. A Red One MX is my backup camera for the live stream. Oh, that's hilarious. And you know what? Hold on. Let me go to the producer view real quick. Okay, overhead is okay. I'm just going to check the sources one by one. So, okay, so this is the Nikon Z30, but I feel like it's also coming in choppy. I think this all has to do with my computer right now. I don't think it's eCam, and I don't even think it's my app. I think it's the operating system right now, because like this doesn't look that smooth. I'm gonna go ahead and click this. This is direct feed. Okay, that's pretty smooth. That's coming in pretty clean. But now when I select this is frozen. Look at that. Okay, I go to my top down. What is happening? Okay, we're gonna stop that. We're gonna close that out completely. Okay, we have the top down. We have, that's the iPhone. Pardon the mess. Today I didn't clean because we're gonna get into this CAD modeling. But of course, you know, squirrel, I gotta now figure out what's wrong or what's happening. And then the guest. Okay, that's perfect. All right. So let's go back here. We're restarting the app. I'm just gonna rename it for the hell of it. And we're starting the NDI stream. Ecamm picks it up. I'm gonna go ahead and select it. And it seems to be working okay right now. All right, let's see. Let's go back to scene 1. All right, it seems to be okay. So I'm gonna give it a shot. This is still smoother, I can tell. But we're gonna go ahead and give it a shot. Okay, well, we're here. And let's go back to what we were supposed to be doing, was checking out your comments, which is usually the first thing I do except troubleshooting. But hey, that's why live happens. Live happens. Okay. It looks like it's still very delayed. I'm going to see if I'm completely out of sync when it comes to audio, but we're going to roll with it right now real quick. Ooh, look at that. That's not supposed to be up there. All right. Parker Jennings in the house saying what's up to everyone. We also have Gretchen here saying hello to the Camera Junkies. Happy Seahawks Saturday. We're talking smack in the chat. Paul's already laughing. Says, don't you mean 49ers Saturday? I don't even know who won. Let me know. Paul's also saying greetings to everyone. Did you see the opening 97-yard touchdown or check the halftime score? I stand by my statement. Oh, wow. I guess the game is still going on. It's been so long, you know, like you guys were talking about this football stuff earlier today. And I'm just so surprised that it's been so long that I've been so detached from it, because I used to be a guy who used to play fantasy football and know all the stats for like most of the players on most of the teams, you know, and it was just like almost empty calories, right? Like, the amount of time that I've spent doing that while being entertained was not very educational, because those stats, even if I could remember them, really don't mean much, you know. So that's just the funny thing about it, that it's just been so long that I've been so detached. But I think I'm better for it, you know, to each his own. I don't knock on it because I absolutely love it, but I just don't keep up with it, you know, and I'll be able to watch a game and enjoy it because I still enjoy the game itself and I understand all the rules. But like I just said, I just don't have the time to keep up with it like I used to. Thumbs up box on top shelf above your head. All right, Gretchen got the first one, and now this allows me to show something that I just upgraded to. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you. So Gretchen got the first Easter egg item of the night. So let me go ahead and do this. And now I get to show you. Nope. Where are you going? There we go. PTZ number 3. There we go. We have the thumbs up there on the top shelf, and Gretchen gets the point. All right. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and show you the new toy. Go ahead, focus. And this is the ObsBot remote control. So now I'm able to put the ObsBot onto the other computer, preset the shots that I wanted to zoom into, and then that way, like, I'll be able to demonstrate and show you like the overhead and the different location, almost like The Price is Right, all because of this little remote. Pretty cool. So I'm implementing that into the whole thing. So go ahead and go back to my other shot. There we go. And go back to your comments. Above the red sign, is that the same thing? Oh, exactly, above the red sign. Now, I don't know how you guys see it. I saw Gretchen's come in first. So I don't know exactly. I guess it says we're good. It says yes. It says worse than this afternoon. It goes, okay, so now we got to the part where it says we are froze. Hey, Sly made it tonight. It says happy Saturday, Lewis and fellow junkies. Welcome. So good to see you here tonight. You're making a stop motion tonight? All right, here come the jokes. It's going to be a bumpy night. I think I'm just really out of sync, but I don't think it's like it's not freezing the way that it used to. I just think it's just like really behind, which I'm still gonna like look into the back end of what exactly is happening. It said film canister attached to the side of camera overhead by the window. It said maybe not. I'm gonna give you a shot, Paul, to see, like, because I really didn't understand. It says film canister attached to the side of camera overhead by the window. Yeah, if you could just give me a little better description, I'll go ahead and give it a shot, because I really don't get that. But while you do that, and I'll give you a chance to do that, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into our scene. I'm gonna change the camera, because as soon as I said, oh, I'm not freezing, boy, goodness gracious. And I've already hit the scene. What? Right now, I've already hit the Stream Deck button if my audio is coming in before the video. You see, like, I gotta change the camera. Okay, so I think I'm here. All right, that's a lot better. All right, just gonna rock with that. All right, so we're doing FreeCAD. Okay, this is what Paul was saying. The crossbar by the window. Oh, I think that's the lights. If you're talking about the crossbar over here, if you're talking about this right here in the background, go ahead and show you. None of that is that. so now let me click the edit screen. All right, that worked. All right, and we're back to it. FreeCAD. So what am I doing today? Today I'm gonna give you a real gem. Okay, for those of you who are watching for this as a bit of a tutorial, this is exactly what I'm gonna do for you. The hardest thing, or at least for me, one of the hardest things to actually get done when it comes to CAD or 3D modeling is threads, right? And to create a step-up ring, you're gonna need to get the threads correctly so that it can fit all of the filters on there. Yeah, it's giving me the error again for the ISO. I got the error with the ISO. I got it. You know what? Let me go ahead and try to just turn off the recording completely. There we go. So it shouldn't bother us anymore. We'll work with what we have on YouTube. All right. So as I was saying, if I'm just going to rewind it, the hardest thing for me when it comes to creating certain objects in CAD software and 3D modeling is making threads that fit everything correctly. So I'm going to give you my trick to how to do that easily and how I apply it to my 3D models. So what I'm going to be making today is a step-up ring. Well, I already made a step-up ring, and you know what? Let me just grab it right here to show you. Off of this, for this webcam, the YoloCam S3. And what I did is I made a step-up ring to a 67mm filter so that I can put my favorite Pro Mist filters onto the webcam. As soon as I did this, I sent the file over to Doc Rock. He threw one on his YoloCam S3 and then gave me a request for his other camera. Which one was it? The Osbot Tail Air 2, which is, I believe I said that correct. And that one is like a much bigger PTZ camera, and it's got a much bigger like lens, everything. So he wants to throw filters on that one as well. So now we're going to design it in CAD on the fly, and I'm going to show you how I do that and how I apply the threads so that everything works correctly. Let me see. I wrote down. Okay, I did. All right, he gave me some measurements from his caliper earlier today, which the measurements was 15.15, and with some tolerances, and just between what we spoke, I settled at 65.35 as the internal diameter of the filter or the step-up ring that we're going to be making. So with that information, let's go ahead and start cranking this out. All right. I'm going to go ahead and click this. This is the step-up ring in CAD. And as you can see, I don't have any threads on there, right? Because I didn't make it here. And I'm going to show you how we do that. So, you know, foreshadowing. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make something very similar to this. And I'm going to do it live. I'm going to do it right now. I'm just gonna grab this as reference, but it's gonna be something similar to this. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna go ahead and hit start. And here's a FYI for everyone. I really don't know FreeCAD so well, because like all of these things, assembly, 2D, like all of these other things, I've never even opened these. I've only used parametric part, or parametric, however you say it, and the part design. That's all I've done. And just with that, it's just going step by step. And whenever I come to a block, I go ahead and Google that, and I just continue to build on it. It's just like, you know, you can't learn to be an expert like pencil artist, but you can start doodling, right? So I started doodling with this application, and then now we've gotten to a point where I'm gonna go ahead and remake some of my previous or my first designs, because I've learned so many skills to make things better and make them easier to print that I'm gonna redo them. So there's gonna be a version 2 for the Nikon Z30 Rig Junkie kit, and also another one for the A7C Mark II, because even though that it is successful what I made, I'm gonna remake it better. All right, So let's go ahead and rock and roll. Today, I'm going to be doing a lot with the keyboard. And go ahead and click the parametric part. We get to a blank slate. And the first thing we're going to do is create a sketch. Pick our plane. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with the internal diameter. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the circle. Did I click it? This computer is running not the best right now. Okay. I go to the datum point, and right here, I stretch it out. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go with the first numbers, which is 65.35. Bam. Now we have that. That's our first circle. Now I should be able to select it, right? As soon as I selected it, and you see it's highlighted here, I'm able to click this, which is the offset geometry. And now all I'm doing is an offset, right? Like it's creating another circle directly, just like kind of like a border. And I get to choose how thick I want it. You know what? Let me go ahead and I'm going to grab my caliper. And I'm just going to reverse engineer what I've already made. This one I made at 1.64, so that's very thin. Let's do 2 millimeters. All right, so we got a 2 millimeter gap, and that's it. We've made our first initial sketch because this, you know, in all sincerity, this design is not going to take that long, and I'm going to show you why. Hey, what's up, Jeremy? Let me see what he says. He says, I've been wanting to do a step-up ring myself for the new Viltrox lens. Time to print. Check this out, because I'm going to show you my trick to making perfect threads. Okay. Now that we're here, I'm just going to close, and we're going to have these two perfect circles right here. And now, like before, that I've mentioned before, we're just going to add a pad to it. And the pad is 10 millimeters. How many millimeters did I make this? Exactly that, 10 millimeters. So that's perfect. Now we're going to hit OK, right? We're done. We're starting with the base. So this is what's going to fit snug 10 millimeters over the PTZ cam that Doc has. Okay. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the next layer of what I'm going to sketch on. And I'm going to sketch right onto that thin little brim right there. So I highlight it, and I'm going to go once again and create a sketch. Now I'm going to select this one, which is like the external geometry tool. Did I get the word correct? Yep. See, create external geometry. And I'm going to select the inside edge of the circle. So now we have a reference point. And that's all we're going to need with this tool. We're going to go ahead and go back to the circle tool. Start at the circle datum point, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to click the first circle. Is going to be that same inner part of the inner diameter. That's the word that I was looking for. Okay, so now that we have the inner diameter, we're going to go ahead and we're going to select the outer diameter, which this, how much did I make? Because I should have added 2. So if it's 67, I should have made it like 69. Yep. And that's exactly what I'm going to do again. I'm going to do 69, and I'm going to put 0.20. Did I do that? So I don't remember. You know what? That's why we have the reference one. I'm going to do 69.15. Okay. What happened there? Did that? Okay. Go ahead. Okay. 69.15. I'm missing something here. Oh, this new update has lost all my controls on my mouse, which I'm hitting buttons and I'm getting completely different actions. So I don't get why it's giving me those two lines. Okay. Let's go back to the sketch. Let's just delete that. What is this? Delete this. First, inner diameter. Holy crap. No one. What? Is it that small? Okay. I was doing it right. I was seeing it wrong. Okay, hold on. Let's do 70. Oh, come on. Oh my goodness. Okay, gotta go back to my reference point over here. Okay, let's create a sketch. I'm gonna close that. Let's create a sketch. Datum points. So it was 69 on the dot. So I didn't add the little extra on the original one. Okay. This is what's going to be important here. What is that size? 66.90. Interesting. Okay. All right, we referenced what we needed to reference. Okay, go back to my sketch. I think I have a better understanding. Let me delete that circle here. Okay, and even though it's there, I need to start with the 66.9, and I'm gonna do 67. Yeah, let's just go 67 on the dot. All right, we're gonna go to circle on the inside. Okay, that's such a minimal step up, but that's exactly what's needed. Okay, so I was mostly confused, and This mouse thing is driving me crazy right now. Delete it. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna hit close. Okay, so now I basically just have a little, like, that's how much of a step up it really needs. If you, I'm gonna zoom into it right here. See, it's just basically offsetting, because like Doc had mentioned to me, the front of the camera itself is almost at that size, so it was just a little bit. He said he was gonna tape it, but we have the ability to do this, so that's how little of a step up it needs. Basically, the distance between the inner green line and this inner diameter. And that's just basically where the threads are gonna go so that it can fit the filter. So let's go ahead and do that. And we're gonna pad this up. But I don't think we need that much. Four millimeters. Okay. And that's pretty much it, right? We have the inner diameter, which is this part here in blue. That's what's gonna hold up snug. And now we just have like the 4 millimeters that is gonna stick out, and this part here is where we're gonna throw the filter threads. So let me go ahead and save this. Tail air 2 step up. I'm gonna go ahead and no, brother. My struggles today is that I just decided to update to Tahoe last night, and I'm regretting it, because even though I had installed it on both my laptop, excuse me, that even though I had installed it on my laptop and my Mac Mini in the back, I'm rarely on those machines. So for that reason, I hadn't come across any of the issues, and now all the settings on my mouse and everything are just all reset out of whack. And I even had to switch cameras because like my application for the anamorphic is not playing the best with my setup right now and everything that I got going. So I'm gonna go ahead and like later on, maybe tomorrow, start unplugging everything and just start plugging things in one by one to see exactly where the hiccup and the issue is, or if it's my app completely. And then I'm gonna have to sit down and do some programming. Where did I just lose my mouse to? Okay, there we go. Okay. Okay, now that we saved it, we can export the file now. We're gonna go ahead. Oh, we have to select it. So over here, we're gonna select the body. It's all green, so it's all highlighted. And now we can export that. And it's already got the name. And it's being saved in my FreeCAD folder. Perfect. Okay. So now that that's done, basically I can close this out. And I'm gonna close the window, should I? Actually, you know what? Just hold on there. Just leave it there. Let me go ahead and open up the other things first. like Bamboo Lab. Okay, so Bamboo Labs is not there. Let me go ahead and switch this up over here. Bamboo Studio, perfect. Okay. Okay, so now we're in Bamboo Studio, and this is the build plate. Let me go ahead and find this STL that I exported. What did I call it? It was the Tail Air 2, but see, that's why we left the other application open. Tail Air 2 Step Up. Okay, so I grabbed the file and now I just throw it on there, and okay, finally we have it on our build plate. But as you can see, we still don't have, actually, you know what, let's go generic here. Go with a light gray. I think that will look best. Nope. White it is. Okay. We're going to be adding threads to the inside of this. And let me show you my trick. I need to find it again. Or we could do it live. You know what? Yes. My big trick when it comes to making threads, because we still got time, is I asked Chad to do it. All right, so I made the simple design, and like the other one, I made it just the same way. Didn't take long, but what I did was the hardest part, I pitched that over to Chad from GPT. So, you know what? Let's see if I can open up a window here. All right. Let me go ahead and summon Mr. Chad. And let me see about switching this up. So again, I'm going to switch this from Bamboo Studio to Google Chrome. No, that wasn't the Google Chrome. You guys didn't see that. That's foreshadowing. Yes. Okay, so what's on the agenda today? Okay, today let's go ahead and we're gonna ask Chad. We need a 67mm filter thread STL. Okay, I need a 67mm filter thread. .stl file. I'm just gonna give it the information, right? I'm gonna say look at me. 4 millimeters tall. One. Actually, just let's see. I think that's all I really need. 4 millimeters tall with 1 millimeter thickness. Four. I just put that in just in case, right? So now I'm gonna hit enter. And it's giving me 2 responses, but I just need the file. Very interesting. You usually don't get to see both sides of what it's thinking. All right, let's see. It says this file is no longer available. A hell of a time for Chad to give me 2 responses and then fail on both. Interesting here. Okay, Claude's taking a completely different approach. But as you can see, he's got the pitch thread and everything. And I think Chad is stuck on stupid over here. I'm gonna reset him. Try again. I should put spaces there. And we have a file over here we've just downloaded. Let's go ahead and see if Claude nailed it. Okay, now that we're in Bamboo Studio again, I'm just gonna go over here and I should go to my downloads. I'm having so much fun with Tahoe right now. All right, let's see what this looks like. Okay, I think I got it. So I'm gonna go ahead and just throw it right onto the bed, and bam, there we go. So you can see we have the threads there. So I'm gonna go ahead and move this. Let me see. No, it did it reversed. So let me go back to both of them. Go back to the AIs. Okay, you know what? That's the smartest thing. Let me duplicate this scene. Okay, and this one I'm just gonna switch over to, because if we have to jump back and forth. Okay, so now I should be able to switch. Yep. Okay, that works. That's gonna make it a lot faster. Okay. I need the inside. Right. Well, let's see what Chad did. Chad did the same exact thing, so must have been my commands, obviously. So you put the threads on the outside. I need the threads on the inside. Let's see. Internal threads. We downloaded this one. All right. Let me go ahead and go back to this. All right. Bamboo. Gonna click this and we're just gonna delete that. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this, throw it on there, and we have the internal threads. Perfect. All right. So now how are we gonna merge these together? Because this is sitting flat and so is this design. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and take this. It's okay. And we're gonna flip it. I'm gonna flip it on his face. Bam. So now the facing part is also facing the threads. I'm gonna select this. And I'm gonna right click and we're gonna hit center and it's gonna center it perfectly. Then we're gonna click this and do the same exact thing, center it perfectly. And now that looks like a perfectly made step-up ring for Doc's filter. So I'm gonna go now click the blend and select all. And I should be able to merge. Bam, now it's one part. So now if I wanted to, right, I could easily take this and reflip it. So now the threads are on top and this is ready to rock and roll. We can look in there. See, it's got the perfect pitch thread. Perfection. And worst case scenario, like if you really wanted to, right, because you could still separate it right now as it is, I can now export this as a single STL. see, as one STL, and we're gonna call it tail air 2 step up. If I would have given Chad or whatever better instructions, I would have had it, you know, right the first time. Excuse me. And now we save it. Hold on. Step up dock. Actually, we're gonna brand it. That separates it. Rig Junkies. Step up. Bam. And now we hit save. And we've exported that. And as you can see, we have the step up ring completed. But now, like, let's say, for example, you were going to make an actual step up ring, right? And you're going to make it from one size to another, let's say from, but like filtered, right? You can still go to Chad and make that external filter or the external threads and do it the same way, but kind of reverse it. So just to finalize, if we had like the original reverse threads for the outside, but let's say we made it from a much bigger size, right? Yeah, in this case, it will be a step down ring. So just making it all over again. Let's say you had a 67 millimeter thread. You start with that one. You create the external tube, right? And then you have Chad or Claude make the threads for the step up ring size that you want. So if you're going from 67 to 82, you'll make the internal ones the 67 and the external ones, or vice versa, the external threads 67 and the internals the 82. So you have those patterns, and then you just build the step up ring as just like these sets of tubes that interlock with each other for the sizes. Once you get to the Bamboo Labs, you'll throw the first one on, which is the external. You'll center it and you'll fuse and you'll merge those two together, and then you'll throw the internal one, which is the bigger one, flip the item upside down, and then once again fuse those and then export it, and you have your perfect step up ring for whichever size, from whichever size to whichever size you need, and you're gonna be good to go. Let me see what you guys. Oh, Doc made it. You know what? Now you got me on another thing. Like, could you make one, right? I'll design one and throw it on Maker World. That's hilarious. But Doc, you're all set, brother. So I already got this for you, and now you're good to go. I'll be able to send this over to you and you can print it. I would say put it with the threads up, because the way that it's set up, like I can just go right now and most likely, look, this with no supports is gonna print perfectly. Like, you see, no errors. The slice is okay. Yeah, this is a piece of cake. Yeah, done. Done and done. So that's my trick when it comes to making threads. I ask Chat to do it. You understand? And I give it the best type of like idea, and I never nail it right. But now I have a 60 millimeter filter thread, that file, right? That STL that I just got, and I actually have both, right? So I have the internal and the external if I ever want to create another step up ring, like I just mentioned, and I'll be able to implement those into any of my designs, just simply. And like I said, as soon as I'm done, I export it from the Bamboo Lab, so that now when I go ahead and share it, there's no like separate files, or like nobody could actually mess it up. It is just one single file. It's an STL, and you'll be able to just reload that over and over again. Just to demonstrate. But FreeCAD. Rig Junkie Tail Air 2 step up ring, and I'm just gonna throw it right back on here, and bam. That second one that we just seen right there, that's the one that I just exported from Bamboo Lab. So you see this one. So let me give you the best example, right? This one, I can go here, right click it, right, and I can split, see, into objects. And as soon as I split into objects, the filter or the threads fell to the floor, right? They're no longer together. So just to avoid this completely, this file right here, if I try to go split into objects, oh shit, it still does it. I just learned something new, because even though I thought it couldn't, it can. They can still mess it up. Oh well, but there you go. You don't really need to. Learn something new, because I thought by creating it into, maybe that's this thing. Hold on. Mesh Boolean. Yep. Okay. That's what I needed to do. I need to do the mesh first. So now I can export this and it won't be into, you can't split it. You see, even the split is taken off. Okay. So I knew there was a way of doing it. So this is the dummy proof way. All right. And that's done. All right. We completed the filter thread or the step up ring, and we're right on time. All right, so now let's go ahead and go to these other shots over here. Okay, we're over here because things aren't working exactly the way they're supposed to today. All right, now that we're here, oh yeah, let's go ahead and try to do this. Cities got channels that I think you should go and watch. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself because I didn't even do the thing. Well, we're gonna skip it this week. We're going to Cities Gone, and we're closing out the show. All right. Let's go ahead and do it. I should be able to click this. Perfect. And that's not what we're supposed to be doing. Let's minimize. Oh, and the other one was minimized because, yes, now you guys are seeing what I think you should be seeing, which is Mr. Igor from My Tech Fun. So now, come on. My letters are stuck. There we go. All right. Mr. Igor, if you haven't checked him out, because you probably haven't, this guy is a doctor, but he really gets nerdy when it comes to filaments. So I believe I mentioned him before last week or a couple of weeks before. So I'm bringing him onto Cities Got as this week's channels that I think you should go and watch. Mr. Igor really gets into the nitty gritty when it comes to all the different types of filaments. So when I was doing my ZR stream and I was putting the build together, Mookie was asking me about like the filaments and which ones are the best. This is the channel that allowed me to better understand what happens with the filaments themselves. As you can see, he's sponsored by Polymaker, so he just basically constantly just, he's got his test bench and his like his setups and his testing, his way of testing. But he's the one that basically allowed me to understand that the PLA and the PET Gs, when they are pure and they're just not, they have no extra additives, actually adhere a lot better than the ones that have like carbon fiber or glass fibers and things like that added to them, because those added elements to it, whatever percentage gets added, is less adhesion because of the simple fact that those elements do not melt at the temperatures that the 3D printers are able to heat the plastic up. So they're able to align them and add them to them. Like the carbon fiber, there's a special texture that you get with the prints, and like tolerances, like there's less warping when it comes to the like expenditure and shrinkage of the actual PLAs or PET Gs when you use those additives. But don't get it twisted. Mr. Igor is the one who allowed me to really understand that if you want the best adhesion and the best strength, it's best to use all of one material so that it could adhere to itself. And that's when you really start getting into heated chambers and things like that, because like ABS, on top of the fumes, it's actually going to keep the bottom layers into a malleable enough, like it doesn't get cold enough, or it doesn't get cold fast enough, and it keeps it just the right temperature so that when the next layer of plastic gets laid on top, it melts perfectly and it fuses the best. And that's when you get the best strengths and best, tolerances, everything. So if you want to get nerdy with it, I tell you to go check out Mr. Igor from the channel My Tech Fun, and that's this week's Cities Gaw channels that I think you should go and watch. Bam. And we did it. Let me go ahead and hit this. How are we doing here? I think as soon as I started closing out all the extra windows, it's doing better. Now, I'm going to go ahead and quit FCAD, because FCAD really does pull a lot out. It's asking me something. Oh, assembly. Yes, we have to. Oh, let me just grab that. Bamboo's asking me to name the file. And I'm going to my FreeCAD so that I don't mess it up. And copy. Command paste. My Command V just decided not to work, and I'm just hearing constant pops. Boop, boop. Okay, that's closed. That's closed. Let's close that as well. Okay, I think we're doing okay now. But we've reached the end of the show. Let's see exactly where we're at. All of this has been working not too well today. All right, let me see what you guys are saying. Where's my mouse? You guys are saying, well done. It's playing that cheating app. I think that's the Adobe app. But that's it, you guys. We did it. This was another successful episode of the Camera Junkie live stream. This was episode 268, right? Let me double check on that as well. My goodness. Yep, 268. I had to double check because everything's going like that today. So 268, if you're wondering what that is 268 consecutive weeks of the Camera Junkie live stream. And if you do the math, yes, that's past 5 years consecutive of the Camera Junkie live stream every single week without skipping a beat. So if you like what you saw and you want to check more out of it, this is when I tell you to like and subscribe, and even mark it down on your calendar for next week, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You're going to find me and the rest of the Camera Junkie crew right here, because there's no other place where I'd rather be. What I'm going to get into next week, I don't know, but I'll be talking a little bit more about like what I'm doing as far as the Pat Flynn challenge. I got another video line to come out about the anamorphic app. And then also the next video after that is the 5 like must-have items for the Nikon ZR. So I've already recorded all of those. It's just editing those. What I'm going to be doing as soon as I finish this live stream right now is actually start recording tomorrow's video for the Pat Flynn challenge. So that tomorrow's day 7. Yep. So I'll be doing that in a little bit, and then probably knocking out the edit so that that's ready to go in the morning. And yeah, we've done it. So like I said, you guys make this my favorite place to be every single week. So thank you for taking the time and making the time for hanging out here with me. Like I said, if it's your first time, make sure you like and subscribe so that you don't miss a thing. And that's it. We did it. Another episode. So, guys, take care of yourselves and each other. And this, as soon as I pick this camera, it decides to say, you know what? We are not playing nice. I'm over here choppy ass ished. Where's my... Can't even find my scenes now. You know what? Let's do this one. Bam. Let's go with the red. So, to wrap it up, guys, thank you as always for making the time and taking the time for hanging out here with me. You guys make this my favorite place to be every single week, so I can't thank you enough. Like I said, this is episode 268. That's 268 consecutive weeks of the Camera Junkie live stream, and I can't wait to see you right here while we do it all over again next week. So until then, take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you, yes you, next time. Talk to you.